Alright guys, I got back from Vape N Ville in Nashville, Tennessee. And, well, I got some e-liquid from Halo, which I'm going to do a review on. And I bought some stuff. And I got some stickers. It was really good. My first vape convention. And it was a little better than I thought. I wasn't expecting anything like Wizard World or Gen Con or anything. However, it was very well organized, and I did enjoy talking to Adam with So Much Vape, a little bit with Ruby Roo, and that's the only people I really met that's on YouTube. However, it was still a lot of fun meeting local vapors as well. I did talk to Joe Burnett, who gave me this. If you want to hit pause and read it, go ahead. And basically, it's a little card he put together of the Vapor Manifesto. Sorry about the lighting. So, again, here you can pause and read it. And I got some footage of the event. I didn't get as much as I wanted, because most of I was just too busy to interact with people, checking out different vape companies, trying out liquids, you name it. However, I did get some very important footage nonetheless. So I'll put that in here and hope you guys enjoy. A little cloudy.
Okay, let's start this way. Bang, 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 bang. Okay, your alarm's going off. Are you up now? Are you up now? Okay.
Hi, Chris. What's up, Austin? We're talking about how do we say vapors' rights in Tennessee. How many people here vape?
I do.
How would you feel if I walked through here and took away every one of your mods, every bottle of juice that you had?
Don't give me any ideas.
Them fine words, boy.
How would you guys feel about that? The reason I asked about that is because it can happen. We just had I don't know if you guys saw it a few months ago in New Jersey, we just had an event. We could not vape inside, we could not do this. Why? People did not vote. People did not tell people what was cool and not cool. They didn't take action. Well, one of the famous things Joe always says is get involved. We have to get involved. Even in California right now, California is one of those states where a lot of stuff can go. One of the reasons that we were kind of late setting up here is we just got back from Sacramento. Senator Mark Lino just introduced 6 bills out in California looking to ban vaping, classified as a tobacco product.
So let's go a little further into that for a second. What were they doing in California? The first thing they're doing, they wanted to make the legal age 21. That's the first thing. Second thing is no cloud comps, no indoor vaping, no vape events, and after you get through with that, we're going to make you, the consumer, pay at the counter every time you go to buy a product. And by the way the definition was written, that would probably include batteries. Think about what I'm saying.
So vape accessories as well.
You got it.
So like unicorn bottles, unicorn milk,
Drip tips.
Samsung batteries.
Drip tips, the whole 9 yards. They want your money, guys. The government wants your money. So how do you step up and make a difference? Okay? How many of you are registered to vote? How many of you voted in the last election? Okay? When you go and talk to a government official, the first thing they do is they look at your voting record. If you're not a voter, your opinion doesn't count. So, if you want to make a difference, that's the first thing you can do. How many of you have ever heard of an organization called CASA?
I have.
Look at the little bit of hands.
So I vote, I matter.
You vote, you matter. You vape, you vote. Okay. Frequently, I'll say this much. Let's do that thing where you raise your hands again if you're a voter. Okay, you sir, you're not a voter? Give me that damn mic. I ain't playing. Okay? If you're not a voter, you might as well put it in the trash can and get the hell out of here.
Guys, to drive that home, when TSFA went to Washington a couple months ago, they looked up if we were registered voters. Everybody that came. Don't kid yourself. They know.
In fact, Senator Lott, if you go up into his office, as you walk up, the first thing he asks you is if you're a voter. As soon as you say no, he turns your back to you. He will not respond to you. You're not going to affect his job. So think about that when you're going through. The other thing you need to do is start looking at the vendors that you're buying stuff from. Ask them if they're involved. Ask them how they're involved. Those people that are involved deserve your money, your time. I know for sure that Cutwood's involved. I know the Revolve's involved. And I know there's Good Life's involved. A whole bunch of people that are involved. This is what we need to start doing. We need to get to the point where we're protecting ourselves. If you don't stand up for yourself, there ain't nobody out there that's going to do it.
Exactly what he said is true. If we stand by and don't do anything, and don't tell them it's not okay, and don't tell them we want to stick this around or keep this around, if we don't tell them how vaping has changed our life, you think they care? All they care about is money. Simple. How many people in here are ex-smokers? Ex-smokers. When you buy a pack of cigarettes, you pay a tax. I don't know how much it is here in Tennessee.
Rough. $3.88 per pack.
How many packs did somebody go through a week? 2, 4.
2.
Okay, 12. So that's 12, 15, 20, 25 bucks that they were getting every week from you. Now that you make the switch and they're not taxing that they're not doing that, that's income that they're not getting. That's what it breaks down to. So they're gonna try to get their money, right? Okay. Where do you think that's gonna come from? That's gonna come from your pocket. Or they're gonna ban it all together because they're not gonna say this, but they want you to go back to the other thing that makes money. You guys understand that?
Yeah. Uphill battle.
If somebody broke into your house and stole your mods, what would you do to them?
Seek revenge.
But yet, people are doing that to you right in front of you, and we're doing nothing about it. And I know you guys get up here and you see it, like, why are these guys talking about all this? Why are they doing all this? Because it does matter. We have to get involved. And one of the biggest things is that we have to, as an industry and as a vape community, right? We all love to come in and we love to give out free t-shirts and we love to give out free hats and juice and we love to socialize with you guys on Facebook and Instagram and do all the fun stuff. But imagine all that's going to go away. The 100,000 followers that Cutwood has on Instagram is going to go away if we lose these rights today. And it's up to you guys. It's up to us. Everybody's responsible. Everybody say, I am responsible.
I am responsible.
Do you believe that?
Yes.
Then vote.
I'll put one more point out here. You want to know how they make us disappear? I want you to think about this. When I was growing up as a kid, I used to go to a race called the Winston 500. That race does not exist. When they told tobacco you can't advertise, it was gone. And if you don't really believe it, think about this. When's the last time you heard of a cigarette convention?
Yeah.
How many NASCAR fans are in here? Yeah. All right. Get ready. Whoever gets this right to get one. What was Sprint Cup called before? Oh.
Winston Cup.
Did y'all hear that? It's called the Winston Cup. Do you think Winston Cup wanted to lose that?
Nope.
Tell me why they lost it.
They lost it because the government said you cannot show yourself in that manner anymore because you are marketing to children.
Right. Then what else did they do?
They took it away. They took that away. They took magazine ads away, television ads away. They're all gone.
Guys, you can look this up yourself if you go to the FDA's website and look at the rules for advertising for tobacco. Guess what else you can't do? Anybody ever been to Chattanooga?
Yeah.
You ever go to Riverbend? Does anybody here, a long time ago, the Newport girls used to walk around handing you a little 5-pack of cigarettes. Anybody here remember that? Okay.
You're old.
Guess what? They can't do that anymore, Joe. Why?
Because they're tobacco.
What do we do here at the vape meeting?
Vape.
What happened before we came up here like those girls at Riverbend?
No giveaways.
Right. Do you like vape meetings? Do you like coming out here?
Yeah.
Do you want to keep coming out here?
Yeah.
Do you understand FDA's put us on tobacco? And those are the laws we're having to fight. That's how real it is. Get registered to vote. Go to the shops that are doing something to support your right to vape. Support them.
And go to the shops that aren't and tell them, I need you to support us. And back. All right, so we're going to do a rock bottom bottle shank. Chris is going to kick us off. Remember, we only have a few to give out, so those of you who are making noise are going to be the ones that get them, because that's where we're going to toss them. So he's going to.
Here with Joe of the Vaping Militia, and here at Vape N Ville. And Joe, I just have a few questions for you.
Sure.
Basically, you said you gave a speech earlier about how we have to register to vote before we can speak to our representatives. Can you go in a little more detail about that?
Well, one of the things a lot of people don't understand was the call to actions that go on, and even the personal phone calls that people do make to their legislature. You have to be a part of the system for them to understand to be able to talk to you.
Yeah.
So when you make a phone call and you talk to a legislator, the first thing you're going to look at your voting record. And if you're not a registered voter, it's 5 minutes they don't have to pay attention. Because at that point, you're not going to vote for them. You're not going to change the outcome of their office. So there's no reason for them to listen to you. So the way that you become effective as an advocate for the industry is to vote. And not just go down and register and forget about it. Any election that comes up, if you go and vote, your voting record is in front of all legislators within the state house. So that shows that you're already a part of the community and a part of the process. And being in that means your opinion now counts.
So even if it's just locals, like a small town, any voting there would count towards that.
Exactly. Every time you go to the polls, it's part of your statewide voting record. So keeping up on that and voting in elections that have absolutely nothing to do with vaping is actually a form of advocacy for vaping.
Okay. Now, for those that are a little jaded about the whole system, about how the votes may not count because the lobbyists need everything.
Well, I can guarantee you this much: if you don't vote, your vote doesn't count.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it that way, let's just say for a minute that we really didn't matter when we went to the legislators.
Yeah.
If we never went there, no one would ever go our way. No bill would ever go our way. Now, last year, we had a pretty good year. About 80% of the legislation that went through, we beat. Now, that's a good thing considering there's probably less than 3% of the population that are vapors actually involved in the process. If we could get that number up around 20-30%, people actually participating, then we become a force. If we really want to become a force, if we were to see somewhere in the 50 to 60 margin, now you've got politicians that are actually going to be asking us what our issues are. Because in a small local election, when I talk about a county, sometimes they're decided by less than 1,000 votes. Could we get 1,000 vapors in that area to move the needle? It's possible.
Yeah. Okay, so even despite what some may claim about the lobbyists having overwhelming influence, Vape N Militia and CASA and others have shown you can negate that influence.
That's
or at least
true.
minimize it.
It's not a negate. It's a hand-in-hand thing. And what my hope is like, let's take, for example, right here, the great state of Tennessee. You've got TFSA, who's got their lobbyists on the ground. If he's on message with the voters, we've got a big 1-2 punch. You know. Now there may be other lobbyists that are doing their things, making sure that they get in and get other agendas on board. But the thing that they're lacking is that grassroots support. So when the TSFA lobbyist comes up and goes in and says something to a senator, and then he starts getting phone calls from his constituents, you've got his attention. Big tobacco doesn't have that. Oil doesn't have that. When was the last time that you made a phone call to the legislator about the rising of a gasoline tax? Probably not.
No.
Now, this industry has the best grassroots there ever is, and we can use it effectively.
So, and effectively, a lot of politicians now seeing they could possibly be fired by their constituents.
That is always
in some cases.
That's always a great point. I mean, if we've got somebody like Leno, okay, and Senator Leno is out there in California, what vapor in his right mind is going to cast a vote for that guy?
None, really.
None. So he's not thinking about it. He's counting on that big population to keep him in office. Well, I think we need to get every voter in California registered, and they need to be voting for whoever's running against him next year.
Yeah. And the same with Tennessee here. So far, the state government's been pretty lenient with vaping, but just as preventative method, it's probably best vapors do register and then vote
you know, you say that you've been lucky. You've been lucky because the lobbyist in Tennessee has been doing a great job.
Like the TSFA.
You got it. That's why Tennessee's doing good. Now, if he wasn't in office, the voters would be the only voice here.
Yeah.
Now, you need to think about this. There were 2 manufacturing bills passed in the United States on the vaping community already. 2016. Last year we were screaming, look out, it's going to be taxes and bans. We
Yeah.
saw all those.
Yep.
This year we're looking, those that weren't successful with taxes and ban, they'll be back. Plus you're going to have manufacturing restrictions come in.
Yeah.
Now, this is crazy stuff, like a cipher lock on the juice mixing door. How does that improve the quality of juice? It doesn't.
No.
You know, the industry needs to make its own rules. We don't need government coming in and tell us how to make juice.
Yeah. But you'd also recommend, if vapors can, support different organizations like the Vaping Militia, CASA, TSFA, any local vaping groups there.
Let's go down the order the way it should be.
Yeah.
Every vapor should be a member of CASA. 100%.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Easy sign
Okay?
up, free medicine.
It's free. Now, when it comes to being in the state of Tennessee, if you're going to be an active vapor and you want to be part of the solution, there's an individual membership for TSFA. That's where you should go first. Okay? Now, if you're one of those guys that likes to get in there, get active, and really do something different, that's where you're going to look for somebody like the Vaping Militia. And then if you want to support us at that time, that's great. Keep in mind our Facebook, 11,000 strong.
Yeah.
Excuse me, 12,000 strong.
Nice.
Doesn't cost anything to be there.
Yeah.
The only people, if you want to support us with your donations, memberships, buy the t-shirts, all that support. But, you know, the bottom line is we need people informed.
Yeah. Okay. All right, and that's all the questions I have, Joe.
That's great.
Thanks for answering.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so
no
much.
Problem, no problem. Hey, Foginer. Hey, man. Is that animal so much bait?